Yoo-hoo, and thanks for tuning in to another awful movie review.
Hello? Is anyone there?
We've seen horror and thriller films in the past where urban characters are the target of a family or a group of low-life rednecks, homicidal inbred hillbillies, or other nasty-looking things.
You people are really so nice out here.
These flicks usually took place in the countryside and often featured a very grisly and raw setting. While the definition itself is pretty arbitrary, so are the elements for including a film in that category. Some people on the internet have called this the backwoods horror and thriller genre. The best examples I could use would be thrillers like Straw Dogs, Deliverance, and Southern Comfort. And in the horror genre, there's of course classics like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I could also list The Hills Have Eyes.
Our kind of place.
In the early 2000s, there was a series of horror movies produced that were heavily inspired by this whole backwoods genre. Films like Joyride, Cabin Fever, Wrong Turn, House of a Thousand Corpses, and let's not forget the very mediocre Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. And so, the question is, did we really need another backwoods horror movie? Well, if you ask this director, it's a big yes, because he directed and gave us Skinned Deep, a low-budget horror comedy that when it was pushed out, it was shown in theaters and people forgot about it right away, because I can assure you, this was one heck of a stupid and horribly made film that just gave me a headache.
Suit yourself, punk!
But just before we get going, if there's a bad movie you'd like me to review, just leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts and feelings on Skinned Deep.
Hey, okay, if it'll make you feel better.
Maybe the actors had plans to move on to bigger projects in the future, to appear in movies of a higher echelon, and if that was the case, well, their chances were totally obliterated, like this house. You can't make something this bad like Skin Deep and then leave it all behind you. This is the kind of garbage that follows you around forever.
Oh, man.
There's not really much of a story, just a bunch of half-baked horror ideas that are strung together in something that kinda looks like a plot, but not quite.
Just as I thought. Nothing.
A family of insane lunatics and mutants spend their time killing tourists out in the countryside. Whoever may have the misfortune of crossing their paths are pretty much done for. Now, the story is severely unoriginal, and there's no question where it got its inspiration from. But I think it did have a couple of fancy ideas, like the main villain you see on the poster, who's supposed to be this film's version of Leatherface, looks kind of cool, and one of the family members is a crazy midget played by Warwick David, who's a raving lunatic and loves throwing plates at everyone and does these goofy, over-the-top dances. But everything here is just so clunky, terribly executed, and incoherent that it just makes for a total mess.
What did you say?
The main girl, called Tina, has plenty of opportunities to escape, and doesn't. Come on, just run away now! Another major flaw is that there's no backstory to why this guy's got a humongous brain, why there's a living headless torso in the house that speaks via a TV.
See? I told you this place was normal.
The screenwriters just forget to tell us why, and instead they focused on ridiculous, cheap, and sometimes very badly done fight scenes, moronic characters, oh, and Tina trying to escape, but not really. Deep down, she doesn't really feel like putting in the effort.
You bastard!
The team didn't have a lot of money, obviously, which resulted in them hiring some of the most amateurish actors I've ever seen in my life. The performances are so stale and laughable that they resemble a fan-made film you could find on YouTube.
We haven't done anything wrong!
And then the credits start rolling. There's no music. Instead, it's replaced by Tina screaming repeatedly over and over. And it's just so annoying. Who would want to listen to that? That was just a very weird decision on their part. Although, I'd be surprised if most viewers actually made it to the very end like I did. This is the kind of awful film that audiences would walk out of even if they were on a plane.
To each their own.
So overall, save yourselves 1 hour and 35 minutes of your day. That's it. What an awful movie.